In today's true story from the Bible, there is a man who is blind. So I've got some challenges for you to do while blindfolded. For these challenges, you will need a scarf or a jumper or a tea towel or something that you can use as a blindfold. And you'll also need a piece of paper and a pen. You have 30 seconds to go and get all of those things. Now there are 5 blindfold challenges and you will have 30 seconds to do each challenge. The only rule is you will need to be completely blind for all of these challenges, okay? So put your blindfold on now, maybe get a grown-up to help you tie it. Make sure it totally covers your eyes so you can't see anything. And remember, no peeking. Now you probably want to make sure that there's a grown-up in the room while you're doing these challenges, just so you don't get hurt. Are you ready? Challenge number 1. Walk to the other side of the room and back. Give someone in your family a high five. Challenge 3. Draw a picture of a house on a piece of paper. Challenge 4. Write your name. Challenge 5. Stand up, turn around 5 times and then sit back down in your seat. That's the end of the challenges. You can take your blindfolds off now. How did you do? Did you find that easy or tricky? What was it like being blind? Did you need help from people in your family? Being blind means there's lots of things that you can't do by yourself. You need someone to help you. Well, there was a man in the Bible called Bartimaeus, and he was blind. He couldn't do anything himself. He couldn't walk down the road by himself because he might get run over or bump into things. He couldn't go to work because he wouldn't be able to see anything to do the job. And that meant he didn't have any money, so he couldn't even buy food. So instead he had to sit by the side of the road and beg people to give him money. Bartimaeus knew that he needed help. When you listen to the story, I want you to think about how you would feel if you were Bartimaeus.
Jesus led his disciples through the town of Jericho. As they were leaving, a large crowd gathered around him. Then, from the midst of the crowd, a voice came out.
"Jesus, Son of David, please help me."
The voice belonged to a blind beggar named Bartimaeus. He was sitting by the road because he heard that Jesus from Nazareth was walking by.
"Jesus, Son of David, please help me."
The blind man continued to cry out. Many people scolded the blind man and told him to be quiet.
"Would someone tell that blind man to keep it down?"
"Yeah, we're trying to comfortably enjoy Jesus, man."
"Indeed, this blind man is totally ruining the vibe." "Be quiet, you."
But Bartimaeus shouted more and more.
"Jesus, Son of David, please help me! Please help me!"
Jesus stopped.
"Tell the man to come here."
So they called the blind man.
"Cheer up! Get to your feet! Jesus is calling you!"
Bartimaeus stood up quickly. He left his coat there and went to Jesus.
"What do you want me to do for you?"
"Teacher, I want to see again."
"Go. You are healed because you believed."
At once the man was able to see again, and he followed Jesus on the road.
How do you think Bartimaeus felt? Sad? Desperate? Wishing there was someone who could help him? Wishing there was someone who could make him see and make his life better? How do you think he felt? Excited? When he heard that Jesus was coming to town? Hopeful, maybe, that Jesus would make him see? Jesus could save him and change his life? How do you think he felt? Worried? What if Jesus doesn't hear me? What if I can't get to him? What if his disciples don't let me talk to him because I'm just a blind beggar? I'm not important like that rich man they were just talking to. How do you think he felt? Determined. No, I really need Jesus. He is the only one who can help me. I will just shout and shout until he hears me. And so that's what he did. Bartimaeus shouted and shouted, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Which means, "Jesus, Jesus, please help me." And when the disciples tried to shush him and tell him to be quiet, he just shouted louder, "Jesus, have mercy on me. Jesus, please help me." And then something amazing happened. He heard the disciples calling him over to meet Jesus. This was it. This was his chance. Jesus could save him. He made his way to Jesus, and then he heard Jesus say, "What do you want me to do for you?" "I want to see," Bartimaeus said. And just like that, Bartimaeus could see. It was like taking off his blindfold. He saw light and trees and people and Jesus. Jesus, the one who saved him, the one who'd opened his blind eyes. And Jesus said, "Go, your faith has healed you." You see, Bartimaeus, he knew he really needed help. He knew that without Jesus, he didn't have anything. He didn't stand a chance. His eyes didn't work. He didn't have a job. He didn't have any money. He didn't have food. And he knew that probably he would die if Jesus didn't help him. And so he had faith. That means he believed that Jesus could help him, that Jesus could save him. And so he shouted to Jesus and asked him to save him. And Jesus did. Wow! Imagine how happy Bartimaeus must have been. He could finally see. His whole life would be changed. Jesus had saved him. Now, we are a bit like Bartimaeus, but our biggest problem isn't that we're blind. Our biggest problem is that we're sinners. And so, we don't need Jesus to make us see. We need Jesus to forgive us. Because without Jesus forgiving us, we won't be friends with God, and one day we'll die. And so we're like Bartimaeus, because we really desperately need Jesus. We need him to save us. But our problem is, we don't always think we need Jesus. Instead we think, if we try hard enough to be good, then we'll be alright. And so we don't pray, and we don't ask Jesus for help, and we don't ask Jesus to forgive us. We act a bit like that rich man that we heard about a few weeks ago, who thought he could get himself to heaven by keeping rules. He didn't think he needed any help, and so he didn't ask Jesus to help him or forgive him. But in the end, he went away sad because it was too hard. So this week, don't be like the rich man. Don't just try hard to be good and think you're okay by yourself, because it won't work and you'll just end up sad and far away from God. Instead, be like Bartimaeus. Know that you really need Jesus more than anything else. You need him because he is the only one who can save you and give you life forever. And then ask him to save you and have mercy on you just like Bartimaeus did. And he will, every single time. Because that's all that Jesus wants you to do. He doesn't want you to try and make yourself good. He just wants you to know that you really need him. He just wants you to ask him to save you. So let's do that now. Jesus, we really need you. We need you more than anything. We are sorry for when we act like we don't need you. Please forgive us and have mercy on us. Please help us to trust you and have faith in you like Bartimaeus did. Please help us to remember how much we need you this week. Amen. Here are some questions for you to chat about with your family. When you're finished with the questions, you can click here to sing a song that says, "Everybody needs Jesus. Everybody needs you and I need you too."